This will be the last Star Wars action figure I ever open. Today. Probably. What we have here is VC373 Obi-Wan Ben Kenobi, or Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi. As you can see, and I'm not a carded person, but look at that. Anyone who's ever been anywhere, anyone who's a Kenner fan, it's gorgeous. They didn't even change the fact that his lightsaber is inexplicably yellow. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So I collected Star Wars figures when I was a kid, like the original, the Kenner figures. I think I even had an Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then in November of 1995, so literally 30 years ago, I walk into a Toys R Us and I buy that guy. That's the Power of the Force 2, literally Wave 1, Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi with long saber, because they were doing that back then. And that re-began my collecting hobby, and with only a handful of exceptions, I've basically been going ever since. While we're picking up the old faves, this guy comes along 4 years later, and that's like as excited as I've ever been for anything, really. You know, like I spent so much of my adolescence, teenage years imagining what the prequels were going to be, what a story featuring a young Obi-Wan Kenobi would be like, that when this guy finally hit plastic, I was like, hot diggity damn. I think that is probably still, just in terms of sentimental value, mind you, my favorite action figure. So if I was ever going to quit the hobby, and I gotta say, recently, been tempting, it would be with this. The weird full circleness of this moment is not lost on me. Literally 30 years to the month later, a new Obi-Wan Kenobi, old Ben, action figure, and I could just drop the mic. Now, I'm not going to, obviously, but you know, I do feel myself slowing down, because I am like, of the stuff that's upcoming, I kind of just want characters and figures that I haven't had before. So, you know, when they release The Stranger, done. When they complete the Bad Batch, done. I'm in. You know, those are the kinds of things I'm interested in. But even they released the images of the new Shaq T and the new Padme. I have the old Shaq T and the old Padme, and I'm like, I just don't feel the need for the refresh, even though there is obvious, especially in the Padme's case, there's obvious quality improvements. But I'm just like, I've got that character. I've got dozens of Padmes. You know, if they release a Padme in a dress that I've never had, God, I love this this hobby. You know, maybe it's a different story. But yeah, looking ahead at a year that is going to be very focused on the Battle of Geonosis, which means clones and Jedi we've already had. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to be me. And then, you know, 27, I'm assuming is going to be very 50th anniversary of the original Star Wars focused. And again, here's one right here. I cannot think of a character from that movie that hasn't been done. I mean, I guess our little shoes, like they do shoes, I'm in, you know? But so what I guess I'm saying is I'm coasting on the off-ramp of all this, which doesn't mean I'm going to stop, but I don't think I'm going to be actively seeking out new material unless Hasbro radically changes their strategy. That's enough preamble. Let's just open this thing. Done. I was really on the fence about buying this guy at all because obviously, one, I've got a trillion Obi-Wan Kenobis, but two, that's actually not. I mean, it's a great sculpt and paint job, but in some weird way, it's like too great. Like I want it to look like that. I don't know why, you know? Also, as much as I think soft goods robes have improved lately, I've had good success with using them, particularly with the Acolyte figures. I bet you this ain't gonna go the way I want. So like what they've done is not given him a hood. That's been stitched down so you can't pull his hood up. There is no version of displaying this figure with the hood up. They've opted to railroad your use of the figure for, I guess, what they assumed would be a better overall look. That said, as is always the case with soft good capes, I don't like the sheer size of that flap. I might be able to work with it, like I might be able to fold a bit of it up and kind of create a faux hood, but that would not be my first choice. Now, that being said, you know, when I bought this figure, one of the things I thought to myself was, it's very likely I'm going to end up displaying this guy with no cloak. just his Jedi tunic, because I always really liked that old Ben had the extremely long skirt. I don't know what else it's called. It's probably called something specific that I can't think of. Which is why I really remember there was that there was a figure, I think it was in Power of the Jedi, so like 25 years ago now, where he came with the little box that had Anakin's lightsaber in it. I probably have that accessory somewhere, and I'll try to dig it out. But I will be doing like an Obi-Wan's hovel position for this guy, ideally with like a little stool, and maybe handing Luke the lightsaber, because that's a scene that I really admire and also isn't represented in my collection anywhere. You know what? Let's just do it right now. Let's get this off and see. I'm gonna regret taking this cloak off. I bet it never goes back on. Yeah, like that's a Jedi Master, and he'll even looks more like Alec Guinness like that. I don't know how that could be, but yeah, that's a nice thing there. I'm gonna need to work with the skirt a little bit because it's a bit dented from being in the package. There's his lit lightsaber. I think one could argue that is not painted correctly. See that gold there? That would be Episode 3 era, but I think by Episode 4, that's straight silver, if I'm recalling my Master Replicas Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsabers correctly, but I don't think that's right. And there's the unlit one, which I'm going to put on him right now. Yeah, that's pretty good. With that look applied, I'm glad I bought this figure, because that differentiates it nicely from the other ones that I've got. And he looks good. He looks really good. Well done. Also, you guys, as you may or may not know, if you've watched the channel, I didn't buy the Cantina, which I was watching someone's review of it recently, and I was like, why the hell didn't I buy that? I think I got obsessed with the deluxe one and being like, oh, there's no way I'm ever gonna have space for that. If I'd just gotten the standard issue one, I feel like I could have used at least 3/4 of that display environment in various places in my home, and I also would have gotten all them figures that were so cool. Oh well. There's your Obi-Wan Kenobi. The last Star Wars figure. Nope, not even close. I'm actually looking for a Star Wars figure on Friday. I won't tell you which one in case I don't find it. But yeah, I'm on the hunt this Friday. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know how you feel. Woo! About this Obi-Wan Kenobi action figure.